I'm Nathaniel Baker, and I'm taking a look back at the origins of a thunderous event in the Appalachian Mountains, 1921's Battle of Blair Mountain. The largest American civil uprising since the American Civil War, approximately 10,000 striking coal miners marched to war against an army of 30,000 federal, state, and volunteer troops. The showdown between the rights of the worker versus the desires of the public. The first quarter of the 20th century knew struggle and strife of the laborer, a laborer that wanted more than a broken back and a pitiful paycheck. Disgusted at child labor and lethal working conditions, employees were beginning to fight against the employers all across the world. With Russia's October Revolution in 1917 demonstrating the power of the working class, and the Great War forcing American coal miners to work themselves to the bone, tensions were at an all-time high. All across America, coal miners threw down their pickaxes during harsh winters, drawing the unsympathetic public's ire for keeping America cold. The public responded in the 1920 election with a man who had put an end to the miners' wishes, Warren G. Harding. At the time of his presidency, Harding was one of the most popular presidents ever to hold office. With the Great War leaving such a harsh taste in the mouths of all involved, President Harding ran on a campaign without stress, pain, or sadness. A return to normalcy.
The need is not heroic, but healing. Not nostrums, but normalcy. Not revolution, but restoration. Not agitation, but adjustment. Not submergence in internationality, but sustainment in triumphant nationality.
The man who would stop at nothing to ensure that American life remained carefree, Harding was the American paragon. The public relied on his guidance to stop the endless strikes within the country, especially those that turned violent. A breeding ground of violent protest happened to be in the anthracite fields of Logan County, West Virginia in 1921. With the unionized coal miners being evicted from their homes, a restless community of out-of-luck families were allocated to a rough stretch of tents pitched on non-company land. Abused and tired, the Logan miners could no longer weather what the coal companies had done to them and decided to march on Charleston. The public would not stand for this, so the Logan Defenders, a local group led by the strike-breaking sheriff Don Chafin, would not allow the marching miners to pass. After being antagonized by Chafin's forces, the protesting miners could stand the mistreatment no longer and began the Battle of Blair Mountain. Blair Mountain was a relatively bloodless affair with approximately 33 casualties, but the ramifications of the event caused an outcry among the general populace. Not only did the miners threaten the nation's warmth, but the armed traders threatened their safety. Luckily for the public, they put a man in charge capable of stopping the revolt. President Harding gave the miner army warning to turn back before federal might would be incurred, but the miners rebelled and continued onwards. The president answered this with an American war hero sent to end the Union Army's charge, Billy Mitchell. A veteran of the Great War, Billy Mitchell was considered the ace pilot of the United States Army Air Service. Trusted with the confidence of both the president and the public, Mitchell flew down to West Virginia equipped with a state-of-the-art Martin MB-1 bomber. The MB-1 was the first American biplane created with the sole purpose of military use, and Mitchell planned to show that to the treasonous miners. President Harding, however, forbid Mitchell from using these planes as a weapon against a miner army. Instead, Mitchell used them as reconnaissance, which served two purposes: to use the sky as a means to gather information, and to symbolize federal power as an intimidation tool. Too afraid of the federal strength combined with the public outcry against them, the miners began to bury their guns, signaling the end of the battle. With the miners arrested and coal continuing to be mined, the Battle of Blair Mountain determined the future of coal mining in the United States. With the total defeat of the United Mine Workers by federal authority, unionization of coal mining never recovered and left a devastating effect. The precedent that coal mining was only to benefit the public, not the workers themselves, had been established and affects the conversation to this day. I'm Nathaniel Baker, and that's history.